So yeah, I'm going to talk about the transformation and innovation that's happened in radiotherapy for the last 4 or 5 years. So back in 2016, when I joined the Trust, radiotherapy had 4 machines that were coming to the end of their lifetime. So they were 10 years old, and that's about the time that a radiotherapy machine needs to be upgraded. So we embarked on a machine refresh program in which in March 2017, we used our sophisticated ARIA computer system to become fully paperless. In October 2017, we went live with the UK's first Halcyon linear accelerator. In June 2018, we went live with the TrueBeam Edge, and we also upgraded our Halcyon to have extra imaging capabilities. And in October of 2018, we installed our second Halcyon linear accelerator. So we went from having 4 end-of-life machines to having 3 state-of-the-art cutting-edge machines. And the Halcyons had really impressive quality improvements, not only for patients but for staff. They looked more like a CT scanner, so they were less daunting for patients than what a traditional radiotherapy machine would be. They were more ergonomical for patients, they were quieter, and for staff they had significant streamlined workflow advantages. With the introduction of the 2 Halcyons, it meant that now about 80% of our patients or more receive what we call daily online image-guided radiotherapy. And this involves using the modified CT scans that the machines are capable of taking to match the patient's anatomy of that day to their original planning CT scan. And that's what my radiographers do. They will make decisions on a daily basis of whether they're happy that the patient's in the right position and whether they're happy to deliver the radiotherapy that day. It also means, however, that patients have to go through potentially significant preparation for their radiotherapy, and this is especially for the pelvis patients who require preparation for bladder and bowel prep to make sure that those internal organs are the right size and not going to be within the radiotherapy treatment fields, and to help us minimise the side effects to those areas. Now that we're able to see more patient anatomy on the scans that we take on a daily basis, we're also able to see any changes that occur. And this can be a result of side effects that the patients may be experiencing during their treatment, or it can be a response to their treatment itself. So it could be their tumours actually reducing in size because of their radiotherapy or chemotherapy. So the company that we get our machines from, Varian, had another significant technology released in October 2019, and in August of last year we updated one of our Halcyon treatment machines to be called Ethos, and that involved a software update which now allows us to perform daily online, so while the patient's on the treatment machine, adaptive radiotherapy. So rather than the radiographers having to match the CBCT that they take on a daily basis to the original planning scan, we now use an MDT approach where we have radiographers, physicists, and a clinician present on set. The advanced sophisticated software uses AI technology to generate the contours of the planning CT, of the CBCT for that day, and we can change or edit those contours to perfectly match the anatomy of that day. The clinicians can then assess their target volumes and make sure that they're happy with those on the patient's anatomy of the day. The system will then, still while the patient is on the treatment couch, generate a new plan based on that patient's anatomy that day. It will then give the clinician the option to choose between the original scheduled plan or the new adapted plan. And if we choose the new adapted plan, we are now able to perform instantaneous QA, so quality assurance on that plan before treatment delivery. So what this enables us to do, and it's a phrase that we use in radiotherapy, is we're adapting our treatments to our patients rather than asking our patients to adapt for their treatment. So our ultimate goal is we want patients to not have to prepare for their radiotherapy, And we're actually going through this at the moment. We're actually piloting no bowel preparation for our patients to see if that works. And we're reducing the need for them to have such full bladders for their treatment, ultimately meaning that we will give our patients a better treatment experience and not have to impact their daily lives so much, because for radiotherapy treatment, they're coming maybe every day, Monday to Friday, for up to 5, 6, or even 7 weeks. We're also able to daily adapt to the changes that we're seeing in anatomy. So if a target volume or if a tumour has responded to treatment, we can adapt to that on a daily basis, and we can also adapt for any changes in body contour. We can also reduce the need for rescans. So if these patients were treated on our other machines, all of the changes that we would need to be doing would need to be offline. Now we can do them online, and we don't have to put the patients through extra radiation dose by having rescans. And we've actually proven this recently with an esophagus patient who during their course of 28 treatments would have required 3 scans, but by the use of the Ethos software, they didn't have any, they just had their original planning scan. And we're hoping eventually that through work that we're doing with Varian and global partners that have been early adopters of Ethos, that we can improve our outcomes for our patients, reduce side effects by tightening the margins that we add to the tumour volumes and minimising dose to organs at risk and healthy tissue. Not only does Ethos have the benefits that I've just said for the patients, it also has some benefits for the staff. So we've actually are upskilling our radiotherapy and physics staff. So we've just had approved a training and competency protocol for what we call the advanced adapter role. And this will allow radiographers, physicists, clinical scientists, dosimetrists to be able to perform the daily online adaptive process without the need for a clinician being present on set at treatment. So they will be trained in how to assess the organ contours and edit them if needed, assess the target volumes, and ultimately be the ones that decide on which plan to treat, whether that original reference plan or the new adapted plan for that day. Developing this protocol was an MDT approach, so it was myself, my colleague Germain, who's the operational lead for radiotherapy physics, and Dr. Amy Ward, who's one of our clinicians. And we needed to make sure that the protocol was robust and satisfied certain requirements of regulations such as IRMA. And this is another UK first. So we should be some of the first radiographers and physicists and clinical scientists performing that, that process. All through these wonderful advancements that we've had in our technology, we've also been able to embed the PRIBRE methodologies really well. We've had 5 staff who have graduated from the PRIBRE for Leaders course. Myself and one other are just about to graduate, and we've had 2 staff halfway through the course. And I feel that the PRIBRE for Leaders methodologies have been really able to be embedded well and align nicely because we're a very protocol-driven department. We've integrated daily management really well, so the radiographers huddle every day and have production boards which track the progress of the day, so the team leaders can come around and easily see if they're running late, and we have abnormalities and countermeasures documented. Our team leaders have written up their own leader standard works, and we also have numerous visual controls throughout the treatment rooms to make sure we know where all of our equipment is. And we've had a couple of staff come back from maternity leave that have really said that the visual controls, knowing where things are in the room, help make sure that we are on time and they know where to find things. So I really do think that radiotherapy, not only with the technological advances that we've had, but also with embedding the PRIBRE methodologies, we've really driven and improved the service, and we're at the leading edge of radiotherapy treatment, not only in this country, but in the world.
Thank you so much, Siobhan.